Okay, perfect. So we have here the presentation about the future tenses. So let's go with the future tenses. Hello, Adolfo. Can you help me to read the information about will? Come on.
Oh, um, will I can be used to make predictions based on your experience or opinion.
Exactly. So we're going to use will to talk about predictions for the future. So these predictions that I say, they are based in my experience or my opinion. When I am saying different predictions in the future, I need to use will. And here is the structure for the sentences in will. It's very easy because you just have to use the pronoun that it can be I, he, she, it, you, we, they, etc. And then you're going to use will for predictions in the future in affirmative. And the verb, it has to be in the simple form. So it's very easy because we don't change the verb for nothing for the predictions in the future with will. In the negative, as you can see, is the same structure, but we are using won't for the negative sentence. We are going to use won't, and the verb goes the same in the simple form. And for the interrogative, it's almost the same, but now I start my question with will, and then it goes the pronoun and the verb in the simple form. I think it's better if we practice with some sentences, but here are some recommendations, some special recommendations for you. Can you read the recommendations, Adolfo, please? Come on.
Wait.
Yes, please, let's read.
Okay. We can use I bid, I speed, I hope, I imagine to complement future predictions.
Yes, exactly. If you want to say a prediction for the future, I recommend you to use these four different words. Like, for example, I bet. Let me tell you by the chat, Laura and Adolfo, what is the meaning of this? Ah, okay, now we have Aisha is here. Let me say hello to her. Aisha, hello. Are you here? Hi, Aisha. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
teacher.
Are you here? How are you, Aisha?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Very fine. Before you arrived, we were checking the topic for today, Aisha. It's about the future tenses. And today we're going to learn how to use will. So I was telling Adolfo and Laura that we are going to use will for predictions in the future. And these predictions that I say, they are my opinion or for my experience. So I have to use the sentences like this. Can you see? The pronoun with will and the verb in the simple form. And for the negative is want. And for the interrogative, we start with will. So Adolfo was reading that there are some words that you can use for making sentences. For example, I bet. I'm gonna tell you in the chat what is the meaning of I bet. Check it. Can you see the meaning in the chat of I bet? I bet it's an expression that you can use for the future predictions when you are very sure of something that you predict in the future. Later, we have the other I expect. I'm gonna tell you by the chat what is the meaning of I expect. So pay attention. Yes, can you see the chat? This is the meaning of I expect. Huh? And then we have I hope. Let me tell you what is in Spanish, I hope.
Hope is I don't know, esperanza, algo así.
Ah, exactly. Can you see the chat? It's like
Okay.
a wish that you have for the future. And finally, I imagine, I think it's very easy, no? Yes. So I recommend you to use these words. I bet, I expect, I hope, I imagine for making your predictions in the future. For example, why don't we practice with some sentences, no? Pay attention to the sentences. For example, when will cars fly? No? This is this is gonna be something that I want you to predict. So let me show you how, right? It's very easy. First of all, I have to use one of these sentences. Yes? For example, I am going to use I imagine, okay? For answering the first one. So I say, when will cars fly? I imagine. Let me put it in another color so that you can distinguish. Okay. Let me see. I'm ready. Okay. Give me a second for changing the color. I'm ready. Okay. When will cars fly? I wanna use I imagine, but depending on me, I can use I hope, I expect, I bet, but let's do it for this. I imagine cars. We have here cars, and then I have to use will. I imagine cars will fly in, I don't know, let me imagine, in 30 years, no? This is my prediction, no? What do you say? What do you say, Aisha? When will cars fly? Can you tell me? Come on, Aisha, tell me.
I imagine cars fly in 20, no,
Yes, in 20 years? Yes, it's only a prediction. Come on.
in 20 years.
Okay, in 20 years? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, why not? I can see that Gabby has connected. Hi, Gabby. How are you? Are you okay? Can you speak or not?
Hi.
Oh, excellent. Good to hear you. What do you think about this, Adolfo? When do you think that cars will fly?
Um, I don't know. In um,
Come on, use the structure. I imagine cars will fly. Come on.
mm, in 10 years?
In
No,
10
I don't
years?
know.
Ah,
No.
okay, yeah, that's okay, no problem. If you think in 10 years, why not? Maybe it could be possible. Okay, Gabby, we were checking before you arrived. We were checking the structure for will, and I was telling them that we can use will for making predictions for the future. And these predictions that I will say, they are for my opinion or based in my experience. And I was telling them that I recommend them to use these different words. Yes. I bet, I expect, I hope, or I imagine, depending on what you want to say. For example, before you arrive, I was asking Aisha that when does she think that cars will fly, and she told me that that she imagines that cars will fly in 20 years, and Adolfo says in 10 years. What do you say, Gabi? When do you think that cars will fly? Come on, use the structure, Gabi. Are you still there?
Um,
Come on.
I imagine cars will fly in 20 years.
Okay, the same like Aisha said. Okay, I think that's very fine. Let's go on to the next question, guys. Here we go. Well, in this one, we have here, okay, check this question, right? So it's when will the cure for cancer be ready? No? I don't know. What word do you recommend to use, Laura, for this, for the cure for cancer? For I bet, I expect, I hope, I imagine. Which one do you think is the best word to use, Laura? Tell us by the chat if you can. Because talking about cancer, I think it's something serious, no? Why don't we use a special word? I think it could be I hope, no? For starting the sentences, right? Okay, let's do it. Let me type it here. Let me reduce the font and okay, it's I hope. Okay, let's see. Come on. You wanna be the first, Adolfo? When when will the cure for cancer be ready? What do you say? Predict
Um,
years.
Ready?
Mhm, mhm. You wanna know ready in Spanish? Here is it. Yes. When do you think the cure for cancer will be ready? Come on, come on.
I answer.
Yes. I hope.
¿Contesto la pregunta o la leo?
Exactly. Let's make the answer now, okay? Come on.
Oh, read the answer.
hmm I hope. Come on, let's go.
When will the cure for cancer be ready? Okay,
In how many years do you think the cure for cancer
I
will be
hope the
ready?
cure for cancer will be
hmm
ready in um
How
I
many
don't
years?
know, um maybe in 10 years old. I don't know.
10 years? Okay, yeah. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. What do you say about this, Aisha? When do you think the cure for cancer will be ready? It's a prediction. Come on.
Um, I hope the cure or cancer will be ready in 15 years.
Okay, yeah, that's right. What do you say, Gabby? 10 years, 15, more? Come on, tell us. What's your prediction? Come on, Gabby, it's your turn. Saying the next prediction about the cure for cancer. Meanwhile, Laura, you can tell us by the chat if you want. Come on, Laura.
For cancer will be ready in
Yes? How many? I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear the number you said. Okay, Laura says in 9 years. Couldn't hear what Gabby said, but if you want to say it, you can complete it by the chat, no problem. I heard the first part, but let's go on to the next one, all right? Okay, here we have. Do you understand this one? We want to know when will petrol be over? Yes? Let me tell you by the chat what does it mean. Here is it. Okay. Why don't you tell me, Aisha? When do you think petrol will be over? Come on, I can help you with this. Let's go, Aisha.
Um, well, the Not please.
Come on, here's it.
Petrol will be over mm, in 10 years.
In 10 years, you say? Oh my God, it will be a tragedy if it happens, but that's your prediction. I respect it. What do you say about this, Adolfo? When will petrol be over? What do you think?
Um, petrol will be over in I don't know when a natural disaster strikes.
Ah, okay, that's a good answer. No? When a natural disaster happens? Okay, that could be a good answer. What do you say about this, Gabby? When will petrol be over? In 100 years? In 50? In 200? I don't know. It depends on the country, no? But what do you say about this, Gabby? Come on. No, Gabby, nothing to say. Suppose it's your internet connection giving problems, no? But okay, let's go to the next question, no? Let me see. Wanna show you the next question, and come on, Aisha, let's go for the next question. Can you read this question for me, Aisha? Come on.
When will home office be permanent?
Exactly. Imagine this. Many people are working in home office, no? So, do you think it will be permanent when? In 10 years, in 2 years, in a year? In how much time? Okay, give me a second because Gabby sent me a message. Yes. What do you think, Aisha? When when will office be permanent? What do you say? In 2 years? In a year? Come on, come on, Aisha, give me your time.
Uh, 1 year.
Come on, but say the sentence. Come on, home office. Come on.
When will home office be permanent? No, then 2 years.
In 2 years? Okay. What do you say, Adolfo? When will home office be permanent?
Um, what do you say the answer or
Yes, please say the answer. For example, you can use, I don't know, I bet, I expect, I hope, I imagine, and then you tell me in how many years, come on, or
um,
months, I don't know.
I imagine home office is permanent in 15 years.
In 15 years? Ah, okay, very good. Well, let's go to the next question. Now that you have your microphone open, Adolfo, please help me to read this question. Come on.
Okay. When will people have chips in their bodies?
Yes. Wow, that's a interesting question. Well, I say let me see the options that we have got. No. Let me see. I imagine um, people will have chips in their bodies. I think in 50 years. In 50 years, I imagine people will have chips in their bodies. Or what do you say, Aisha? How many years will people have chips in their bodies?
Um, 16 years.
60 years? Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
More or
Let's
less?
say 70.
70? In 70 years, people will have chips in their bodies? Okay. And you, Adolfo, what do you say? In how much time will people have chips in their bodies?
Mm, I don't know. I believe that in 30 years,
In 30? Ah, okay, it will come
maybe.
soon. Maybe. Okay, yes, why not? What do you say, Gabby? Can you give us your opinion? Raise your hand like this, Gabby, if you can talk, or I don't know. Or meanwhile, Laura, you can type in the chat your answer about how many years do you imagine that people will have chips in their bodies. Let's see. Well, if not, then we go on to the next one because suppose they are having internet connection problems. But okay, okay, look at this question. Come on, Aisha, help me with this.
When will the pandemic be over?
Mm-hmm. What do you say,
Um,
Aisha?
the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
um,
Will be over. Uh-huh.
will be over in 3 years.
You think in 3 years? Okay, yes. What do you say, Adolfo? When will the pandemic be over? The COVID pandemic, obviously. Adolfo, are you still here? Or what happened? I cannot hear you.
Sorry.
You
Yeah,
had the microphone closed?
yes.
No problem. Come on.
um, Pandemic will be over. Yes, in 2 years.
Yes, like Laura said. Okay, okay. You and Laura, you said in 2 years. Well, let me see. I think the same. I think maybe the pandemic will be over in 2024 or something like that. Okay, but let's continue. Oh, look at this. Look at this prediction. You wanna read it, Aisha? Come on, for me. Hello, Aisha. Can you hear me? Are you there? I think she doesn't hear me, or I don't know what happened. But come on, Adolfo, make the question for me because she cannot answer. So,
Okay. Um, when will you have children or grandchildren?
well, I think. Mm, let me check. Let me check the possibilities that I have. Let me see. I have the possibilities with. Let me see. I select. I expect. Yes. I expect. mm, I will have children in 2 or 3 years. And you? When will you have children?
Okay. Mm,
It's only a
um,
prediction. Don't worry.
okay. I don't know. I. How do you say?
I
When?
expect.
I. I guess.
I guess, yeah, that's a
I,
good one.
uh,
I guess, come on.
when I feel ready, um,
Ah, okay, that's a good
sta-
answer, man.
stable.
Very good. Mm-hmm. I guess when I feel ready, that's a good one. Or, hello, Aisha, are you back? You said you had internet problems, so you hear me now, or what happened? Where are you, Aisha? Or Gabi? Can you hear me, Gabi? Do you wanna participate? Suppose they are still having problems with their connection, but okay,
Yeah.
no problem. Yes, come on, let's go, girl.
I hope um, have children.
Mm-hmm.
¿Cómo va? Sí, así.
Yeah, yes, it's correct.
Never.
Ah, okay. So you will have children never. So it's in negative, no? Do you remember the negative for will?
Mhm.
Want. Come on, say. I want. Come on.
Okay. I won't
Mm-hmm.
have.
Exactly. That's all. I won't have children. Yes, that's a good answer because if your answer is in negative,
Okay, okay, okay.
you can say I
Yeah.
won't have children, no? Can I ask you the other question? When will the pandemic be over? What do you say, Gabi? When will the pandemic be over? Now that you have your microphone.
I hope uh, 1
In a year,
or 2. Uh-huh.
1 or 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Let's check the next question now. Right. Okay. What happened with you, Aisha? Are you back? I can see you are connected, but I don't know if you can talk to us or what happened.
Yes.
Yes, come on, make the question.
When will you travel to another country?
In my case, I will travel to another country. I think in a year or two when the pandemic is over. Or you, Aisha, when will you travel to another country? Or you, Adolfo, when will you travel to another country?
Okay. In my case, when I finish the pandemic,
Hmm?
stability,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
economic, yes.
Ah, for economic stability. Okay. Yeah, that could be a good answer for this. Yeah. Thank you. And you, Aisha or Gabby, you want to answer, girls? When will you travel to another country? Okay, I can see that Aisha is connected. I suppose she's having problems or something. I don't know. Well, let's go to the next one. I think we have to stop for a moment with this so that we can continue with an exercise, right? Look at this. I'm gonna show you some exercises so that we can practice will and what's the other one? Give me a second, because I was going to open this, but give me a second because I have here. I suppose that Many people are having problems with their internet connection because they are connecting and disconnecting. Let me see. Give me a second, please. We have an exercise for the future tenses so that we can answer it. Okay, give me a second, and I'm gonna show you the exercise to do it. And I think it's ready. Let's go. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to project it in a moment, and here we go. This exercise it's about future, yes, but before we start, let me show you because we have different possibilities in the last presentation. We check questions with will, but there is another way to use it for for future questions, yes, or for future actions. Here we have going to and will. Come on, Adolfo, help me to read this information about going to and will. Ready?
I read.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to read. To tell about something that is planned or something that is likely
Hmm.
to happen in the future.
Yes, exactly. So, how's everything going, Gabby? Can you hear us now, or still with problems? Because well, before you connected, we were checking going to. That's another possibility for the future, but there is a big difference because when I use, sorry, when I use will, I can use it with for predictions for the future. But when I want to talk about my plans for the future, I can use going to. No? Okay, I can see that Aisha is back. Hi, Aisha. Can you hear me?
Hi,
Today is
teacher.
now your internet is okay, no? Suppose that now everything is much better. Okay, I'm glad to have you here, girls. But okay, no problem. Well, I was telling you that if you wanna talk about your plans for the future. Yes, yes, Adolfo. I'll wait for you in a moment. So yes, I was telling you that when you wanna talk about plans for the future, you can use going to, right? So in the next one, we have here the formula for the sentences in using going to. As you can see here, we can use the pronoun, but there are three different options because you can use am, is, or are for um, the different pronouns am, is, or are. For example, if you use he, you remember is he is, she is, yes, or it is. And if it's I, it's I am. And if it's are, it's they are, you are, we are, etc. And after that, it's going to plus the verb in the simple form. So this is for affirmative, and for the negative is not going to. Yes, not going to. But it's basically the same structure for the negative using going to. After this, we have the interrogative one. Yes, and it's almost the same, but now you start with am, is, or are plus going to plus the verb in the simple form. So here I have some questions, right? So that we can practice going to. For example, let me see. At what time is going to be the meeting? Yes. And I want you to use going to. For example, the meeting is, etc., etc. Are you ready, Aisha, for answering this question? At what time? Oh, she disconnected again. My God, we are having lots of problems with the internet today. So, well, let me see. Are you back in here, Adolfo, or you are still out going for water? Or who else is there? You want to talk, Gabby? Can you hear us, or not really? Yes, Adolfo, are you back?
Right, teacher.
Yes. At what time is gonna be the meeting?
Yes, teacher.
Come on, tell me.
Me?
Yes, 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 come on. Now we have to use going to. Look at this because before you went for water, I was telling them that you can use going to or will for the plans in the future. So now I have to use am, is, or are, and going to. So at what time is gonna be the meeting? My God, I think everybody's having problems with the internet. Now I'm all alone here, only with Laura and Gabby. So can you hear me, girls, or give me some reaction? Tell me something, Laura. Tell me something, Gabby, that I can see if you're here or not. Let me see what's happening. Because yes, are you there? Ah, perfect. Well, let's see. Let me stop recording.